public hearing
Wait, screech, the assembly song.
about the supplemental budget. And Matt, I'm going to hand it off to you.
So this is a public hearing for the supplemental budget for this current fiscal year 2018-19, and like to open it up for any public comment. Nobody wants to speak.
Do you want to give a brief summary of the
Yes.
changes?
So the reason for the supplemental budget, I usually do two times per year, one time after the audit. So the audit was completed and given a presentation to the council at last meeting. So this supplemental budget mainly goes through each fund and updates the beginning fund balances and any other kind of adjustments that are needed as of right now in the budget. There's nothing too huge or surprising that is really worth mentioning. It's very small stuff. That's about it. So, are there any questions from council, I guess?
This is what we do every year to write the budget for the next budget cycle.
Correct. So we do 2 a year, supplemental budgets, one after the audit, and then I will usually do one at the last public meeting of June to true up any
So,
kind
like,
of differences.
I mean, some of it's audit, and does this all clean up like when something was projected to cost a certain amount and it costs less?
Correct.
So it leaves little bits that were unclaimed.
Correct. So
And
let's
so you clean that
say
up and put it back in the bucket.
So the street fund, when we were going through the budget process last year, let's say I estimated that the beginning fund balance for this current year is $2 million. Well, we actually do the audit, they do all the numbers and everything, they actually figure out it should be 2.1 million. So I'm adjusting that beginning fund balance for this current year up to what it should be. And then I adjust the budget however much it's needed.
Super.
If you go to 2.4, then we can do the intersection.
You know, I was just talking to John, and just so you know, all it would take to pay for that intersection improvements, if it was $250,000, is a $4 utility service fee for 1 year. And you can pay for that intersection.
Who wants to?
You're on your own.
So moved.
You're on your own.
I'll leave with a bang here. Have this courtroom full the next couple of months.
Councilor Topaz, did you have a question?
Your description in the paperwork of your supplemental budget kind of got me. I would have liked a little more specifics, which you just gave. And obviously, you speak in accountant's terms, which not speaking accountant, as compared to this is our standard procedure. We do this and this and this. Would have been a little better in the word presentation when I got my paperwork. That's about the only thing.
Yeah, when it says special budget, you think it's special, not just the regular annual thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is like it. When you hear special, it's panic.
Right, it's an annual update.
I will keep that in mind for when I do this in June.
Yeah,
And then
it's a
all
regular-
future times.
It's the quarterly update of the funds that we do every year after the audit.
Yes.
That's a lot more relieving.
So
Housekeeping.
I'm assuming the only budget that's changed is Public Works. Is that correct?
Let's see. So I printed off a before and after.
There's more things I'm not looking at here.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
there is.
overall, the entire budget went up from 43.3 million to 44.0 million. Most of that is beginning fund balance. That is higher than what I anticipated when I did the budget. There are a few expense changes just because we've already had some changes from the initial budget for stuff like personnel, professional services, attorney work, any of that kind of stuff.
But isn't part of this because you normally, when you do estimates, you estimate on the high to provide for overages so we don't get surprised in the reverse?
Correct. Actually, when I do, so right now when I'm working on the budget for next year, I try and be somewhat accurate, but I do tend to budget revenues on the lower end, and I tend to budget expenses on the higher end, just to give us a little bit more flexibility when changes occur.
Super.
So, there's no other comments from the floor. You're welcome to close the hearing if you'd like.
Any comments from visitor? Nobody wants to comment on it? Okay, you guys, come on, students in the back row. You're not just here to get a good grade. You got to participate.
Or think of it this way: we'll make you pay taxes.
Ooh, taxes on high school students.
A coffee fee.
Is that two
Yeah, you're
intersections?
supposed to say no right away.
One of the things I'm reminded with this process is that budgets are about expenditure authority. And so the reason we do these supplements is because, you know, it's not always that a department necessarily has overspent a budget. There'll be revenues through a grant or something that comes in that's we didn't budget for, but it comes in. So we have to establish expenditure authority to expend those funds. And,
Yep.
or any other revenues from
Right.
different sources and things. I'm probably stating the obvious, but there might be somebody that doesn't know that. So.
So, yeah. So for your students, your learning point today is every penny here has to be accounted for because they all belong to you guys. Is that it?
Yep.
Any other comments, concerns? Then we're going to close this public hearing and our regular meeting will start at 7 o'clock.